Question from here.
Governor, my question's actually about the case for going slower. Before COVID, since 2014, the entirety, I suppose, of your time as Governor, before you became Governor, the cash rate had been below the centre of the Reserve Bank's target band. It had been resistant, or the bank had been resistant to, the inflation had been below the centre of the target band, resistant to attempts to increase it for however many years, since 2014. Since COVID, since 2021, it's been above, and the bank's talking about getting it back down. The forecast is mid-25. Now, this man here, Ross Garneau, raised this question this morning that I want to put to you in his talk to the Economic Society conference. He said, why should the period where inflation is permitted to be above the target be so much shorter than the period you and your predecessor allowed inflation to be below the target?
Yeah, well, there is a balance to be struck here. Remember, the size of the
symmetrical balance.
The size of the deviation is much. I mean, when inflation was below target, it was kind of sitting in 1.5 to 2 for a while. You remember we've had inflation at 7+%. So there's a difference there. As I said before, we're prepared to kind of allow time for inflation to come back to target. But the balance we've got to strike is to keep inflation expectations contained. If we were to say, well, it doesn't really matter that much, maybe we can take 4 or 5 years, inflation being kind of high, then people might rightly wonder how serious we were. And once inflation expectations start adjusting, firms are more likely to adjust their prices as their input costs go up, because I think, well, inflation's going to stay around, I may as well raise my prices. So the whole inflation psychology shifts. So we're trying to keep the inflation psychology contained. I think to do that, we've got to demonstrate a clear commitment to get inflation back to target within a reasonable time frame. And I think at the moment we've struck the right balance.
One more question from the floor, but then we should go to the media table, I think. There? Oh, hang on, yes. Okay, at the back.
Mark Ludlow from the Australian Financial Review. I will get to the elephant in the room. Given the Federal Treasury and Cabinet will soon decide your fate regarding another term, would you please, can you assess your views on how you've been in this current term as Governor? And if you give that answer short thrift, which I'm sure you will, I will follow up with a second question about the RBA's narrow dual mandate. Obviously, do you think that it will dampen your determination to get inflation down? Thank you.
In terms of my own position, as I've said before, if I was asked to continue in the role, I would be honoured to do that, and I would continue. If I'm not asked to continue in the role, I'll do my best to support my successor, and the Treasurer has said that he'll make an announcement before the end of this month. So I haven't got anything more to add on that. The RBA has had a dual, actually a tri-mandate since it was established in 1959. We've long had a mandate for price stability, full employment and the economic prosperity of the people of Australia. I've been perfectly comfortable with that in my period at the central bank. I think it's the right general mandate. The review endorsed the continuation of a dual mandate with price stability and full employment, and making the welfare of the people an overarching principle of the kind of Reserve Bank. So the change in legislation on that particular issue is not of real substance and won't affect decision making.